Hi. Hello. Yes. Uh, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. And let me share the screen now. Yes. So I will present today about my PhD research that is about participatory design for a diabetic helpline in Pakistan. So just one second. Okay. So illiteracy and poverty in rural Pakistan is a major problem. And as 60% of population is living in rural areas where healthcare facilities are not equivalent to in cities. So there is a big difference among rural areas and urban areas, as the healthcare facilities are not similar everywhere in Pakistan. So 7 million cases of diabetes were recorded in 2017. It's a bit old, but these statistics were still high in 2017 when it was 7 million cases of diabetes amongst a population of 208 million. So diabetes is the condition which needs continuous support throughout a person's life, being a chronic condition. In this study, I tried to figure out the use of mobile phone and how it can help in diabetes management. So in Pakistan, 3% people own smartphone was in rural Pakistan, and 50% owns a feature phone. So most of the people have feature phones in rural Pakistan. So diabetes, mostly older people have diabetes. So in this study, the technology that suits older people who are illiterate and who don't have smartphones. So it's a big challenging condition that we attempted to develop a helpline for that, because initial scoping study helped to figure out that a helpline is a valid solution for this group of people. So in the research questions in this study are participatory design techniques could be used to work alongside older people living with diabetes. So how people with diabetes who are old can be engaged in a participatory process, and what to know what is acceptable for them as IVR technology. So previous work highlighted that in global south, that is Pakistan and including India and many other countries, different people have chronic condition is difficult managing anywhere in the world. But in global south, due to limited resources and rural global south, it becomes even difficult. So problems in rural area includes doctor scarcity, gender discrimination, transportation issues. So the importance of family is very, it can be seen, like diabetes management needs active involvement from family. So for diabetes management, critical reflection and analyzing experience is important, as if we know where we are wrong, we can rectify to them. So also previous work shows that IVR provides medication reminder, description of symptoms, tips of self-management for Syrian people with diabetes and people with HIV in India. So these are two instances I am quoting here, but there are many applications which involved IVR. So IVR is based on server-side content. So if IVR deployment needs a server on one end, which moderators can manage. So content can be managed on server and users can listen to it anywhere. So IVR systems are expensive, but they can be sustainable by including advertisement. One of the study I heard, I read through, is that the financial burden of the people IVR services can be managed with the advertisement from the IVR, so that people can fund by advertising it. because in rural Pakistan, in this scenario, it's hard for people to like be at the cost of uh, diabetes, like helpline costs in addition to the diabetes medication and other costs. So it is very hard. So participatory process for diabetes helpline is iterative. In this study, I used a participatory process for diabetes helpline. So it started with iterative participatory design to support less literate in isolated rural areas. So ethical approval was from Swansea University, and the participant information sheet is read to them. So there was an information sheet I made and I developed that sheet, and that was read to the participants before commencing the study. The form is then signed off or thumb printed, even because participants have different preferences in this respect. So initial participatory design study I did with visuals, audios, and video. So I included visual in a slideshow, PowerPoint slideshow. I included the visuals, different topics, and through these visuals I can indulge the participants in the conversation. So audio is used like prompts which I recorded, I displayed to them IVR prompts, and videos in participatory design. So I developed some videos where doctor and patient were interacting with each other, and they are commenting about community concept or different concepts related to the helpline, about group forming and about to use community, and about there were 4 videos I developed. One was about a patient was telling his life story about diabetes, and the second one was about a doctor and a patient is communicating and discussing about the community IVR. So these videos were presented in this session, and the outcome of the session is that it helped facilitate. I did some interviews earlier without these visual audio and video. In those interviews, there were limited ability of the participants. Like how to interact with participant is in real time is a issue that need to be like handled in a equal way, and how to facilitate that study so that that conversation, so that you can talk with them for a half hour, say. So including these all things help to facilitate that conversation in participatory design process. So some of the findings I got from is the lifestyle of people, like how people live in rural Pakistan and diabetes care, how they care about their condition, and what are the problems they are facing, and like early diagnosis and improved management. So, in many cases I saw during participatory design that diabetes is not diagnosed until it has a value of 600 glucose. That is very high. So it need like early, but if it is checked regularly, then people can have improved management. And comorbid condition is another issue with them. Like people have different hepatitis and diabetes, and someone has diabetes and heart condition, which is very difficult to manage together. And adherence to medication is one of the thing. Like people don't go and buy the medicine mostly, and because they don't afford it many times. Like especially amongst women who are not earning, they avoid medication most of the time, and they want to like when it is too high, then they buy only, and otherwise they will prefer not to buy. The role of family to manage diabetes is very important. So as family is plays a key role in helping in management. So out of this study, I developed some personas. And so persona 1 is about, like I will describe them as persona 1, 2, 3. Here, they have different interests in the helpline. It's like persona 1 expressed interest in communicating with helpline and liked the idea of adding friends, and gave suggestion to a block future. Like he say that I presented the idea of having adding friends in the helpline with the community network. Like there is a voice prompt whether you want to add this and that, and like that. It is a complicated concept, but we discussed through the use of video with them, and he expressed in the idea of adding friends and a suggestion to add a block future. He wants to share video as he has a smartphone. So this is the persona one. So he has the smartphone. There is the, like, his interest is less in the, obviously in the helpline, but persona 2 is interested in seeking knowledge from helpline and good at storytelling and interested in sharing stories. So he want to share stories amongst the community. He got liberal views about befriending option of social network. So here you can see that, like, men mostly have the same attitude, like they want, they don't feel it like it is bad for them to befriend in a social network. However, some women express that what is the need of helpline and not interested in sharing stories. Like one of her says, one of the women says she want to hear helpline diabetes information and share it and listen to diabetes stories anonymously. So this is the attitude of people. Different people have different attitudes towards the helpline. We can figure it out with the participatory design process. So next, the helpline prototype is developed based on this initial participatory design sessions and results. So we collected detailed information about diabetes, hepatitis, heart conditions, smoking, and COVID-19. So there is a range of information in this helpline because people have different comorbid conditions. So to tackle them, we added three information on hepatitis and heart condition, smoking, and diabetes is the main one. So there was all information was authenticated by doctors, and helpline flows were defined. And so helpline here is scalable and dynamic. What is the meaning of that? Scalable means that I can add any information into the helpline with the just changing one value in the database table. Right now it means this to me. That is very easy to scale on a large scale. I can put on 200 more files. Like initially there is 200 prompts in the helpline. So I can put 200 more prompts without the need of coding anymore. That is the scalable. And dynamic is it is presenting information according to the call number of right now. Like different flows have different call flows, and like call one has in this information, like call one in this information flow has this implication. So that kind of thing. So overall, everything together is 200 prompts, like diabetes information about other diseases and story section. And they were developed, like helpline was developed with Perl, Asterisk, SQL, and Linux, and deployment was done using a server. So next, the deployment. I will discuss about deployment now. It was a short-term 1 month deployment, and 38 users initially used the helpline deployed over there. Like they have a number to call where they give a missed call and the system called them back. That was the scenario. I selected 15 participants and done 4 sessions with them, participatory design sessions. In first, I introduced them to helpline. Second was about information, like how they found the helpline. Third was about the dynamic nature of information. Like these all sessions were held 1 week apart. So, and the fourth session was about community aspects of the helpline. So I've made some questionnaires for this, and all participants run through the same questionnaires. And this series of 4 sessions helped because in one session only, like it's hard to get everything, all the knowledge user has got. So it's better to do in a multiple session. Even 6 is even better, I think, because we don't know the participants and their feelings about the system. So this is I try to figure out there. So findings is doctors' suggestion to improve helpline. So two doctors check this helpline, and they give some suggestions and about community views. That people are less interested. One doctor recommended that people will be less interested in using community because healthcare problems are very much like me only thing. People don't want to share such information. So second is the helpline usability and navigation. So user control on helpline information is important, how they remember the information. Helpline is a source of motivation. Trust on helpline. Mostly people trusted it, and helpline medication reminders is important as well. So helpline cost is one of the factor. Like right now we were this project is funded for the helpline costs, so people don't have to pay any cost towards it. But it is a major factor when people decide whether they want to use it or not. And helpline advertisement is how like I made some video before the before deployment, and people see it so that they can share it, and the advertisement is done in such way. The role of community and community group forming is important, and I have some findings about that as well. So this is about the findings. And now reflection on the participatory design process is the larger groups were dominated by one participant. So when the groups are like there are 10 to 15 participants in a group, one people or two people just speak from the group and the other were silent. And high confidence, there may be factors like high confidence, literacy level, awareness. Different factors contribute to it. Even the mood of person when he is taking the session, that affects it. Small PD groups are preferable. So effect of visual, audio, and participatory design. What I noticed and what I get from the study is that if the interview is, there is some interview aids like visuals, audios, and participatory video, it helped to ease the conversation and reduce the differences of both groups, like the researcher and the participants, and it helped a lot. For me, it was a great help to have these aids. And now, please, my question answers, and I'm done now. Thank you.
Do you have any question to ask? Kehkesha, you just mentioned about the mobile phone, like, to help the elderly people, particularly we talk about using smartphone, and most of the elderly people won't be able to use it for such information. So how did you make it possible for them to be able to get the informations?
With the help of, like, when they can dial, that's okay, but when they can't dial, I use the, like, family members can help them. Like, it's a family involvement in the process is very important for the diabetes patient. Like, and most of them said in participatory design session that my daughter will help me or my granddaughter will help me. Like, that kind of attitude people show. So that's what I get from it.
And the information was like was about their routine diet, or is just like about the main, like normally we are able to get the information from internet, so that's more like for them to be good at the knowledge how to.
Yes, the basic idea behind the helpline development is like literate people have enough resources, like they can access internet all the time and they know how to get information about their diseases. But illiterate people in rural areas with minimal access to internet and phone as well, technology gadgets as well. So they can access this information. I started with this idea that they should have access to the knowledge, And for that, I developed the helpline and did everything.
That is really great, because if we talk about Pakistani elderly community, particularly from rural areas, so it's really hard for them to be able to get the information on the smartphones. So being
Yes.
able to have family member and facilitating them indirectly, I guess a really great contribution of your research to the elderly community.
Yes.
Thank
And
you so. Yes. Yes, sure.
And what I added in this research is like IVR is scalable and dynamic. So it can be like 400 prompts or 600 prompts can be easily managed in that piece of code. That I think is a contribution as well. Like it can be extended because healthcare information change every day.
Right.
So it should be reviewed and that like that.
Thank you so much for your wonderful research study.